According to the United States Environmental Protection Agency, the average American uses 100 gallons of water a day, for a total of 400 billion gallons of water used daily in the United States. The fight for water rights in California began as early as the 1800s, when the state began to see that it had already outgrown its water supply in areas such as Los Angeles. Since the beginning, water has been one of California's most vital resources, preserving the agricultural backbone of the state and thus a large portion of the economy. However, over the years, water policy has forced the state to become more limiting, and California has been forced to cut back its water usage whenever possible. Not only has the quantity of water taken a toll, but the quality has as well, due to the presence of contaminants and growing areas of pollution. Even today, dirty water remains the world's biggest health risk, according to the Natural Resources Defense Council.
Our group has chosen the policy of regulating nitrate pollution in well water that is used for public consumption. According to the California Regional Water Quality Control Board, 80% of groundwater is used for agricultural and municipal purposes. This well water is being affected from the increased use of fertilizers containing nitrates. This contamination is caused by irrigation and groundwater runoff. The nitrogen in fertilizers applied to crops and lawns, as well as nitrogen from septic tanks in rural areas, leaches into water tables and aquifers, which then increases the nitrate levels in the drinking water. Data indicates that 20% of the public water supply in wells on the Central Coast have nitrate levels above the allowable drinking water standard.
This is where the externality comes into play. The initial transaction between the supplier of the fertilizer and the applicator. Their costs do not include those imposed on the consumers of common water tables and aquifers, which are used as well and drinking water of others. The third party, affected by no choice of their own, are those drinking the water that have been contaminated with the higher levels of nitrates. Nitrate is reduced into nitrite, which is further transformed into nitrosamines, a known carcinogen. There is data that suggests that but not conclusive, that nitrosamines can pose potential cancer risks, as well as blue baby syndrome, which affects an infant's ability to deliver oxygen throughout the body. Essentially, the externality is the cost incurred due to these health risks and problems. For example, the cost of testing for blue baby syndrome is a minimum of $25. In addition, a child with blue baby syndrome must be kept in intensive care, which costs $3,033 per day in the state of California. While the data is inconclusive that high nitrate levels cause these problems directly, the mere possibility of their occurrence is cause enough for concern that the monitoring of nitrate levels should go on.
As a public consumer of water, does elevated nitrate levels in the drinking water concern you?
Not really. I mean, what does it mean?
Well, elevated nitrate levels could possibly turn into carcinogens in the body and has potential to cause cancer and other health risks.
Okay, well, that doesn't sound like something that I want to happen to my body. So I, of course, wouldn't. I guess I'm opposed to high nitrate levels, but it doesn't seem like my tap water's tastes wrong or there's anything wrong with it, and I don't feel any adverse health effects from it. So.
Okay. If you were to take under consideration that nitrate levels are elevated, and would you continue, and you found out that your water was affected specifically, would you continue to drink your tap water, or would you purchase bottled water?
I'd probably purchase bottled water. I already do, so a lot of water I consume is in bottled water. So
the elevated nitrate levels are due to septic tanks and fertilizers and other stuff, being used for both ag and domestic purposes. How do you think the monitoring should go on?
I'm basically drinking. Never mind. Go ahead.
So, how do you think monitoring nitrate levels should go on?
How do I think it should go on?
Who should bear the cost, since it's done by people putting fertilizer on their lawn, neighborhoods that aren't part of a sewer system?
I believe it should be a
ag.
social cost. It's something that everybody should pay for. Everybody, they contribute some of the pollution to it. So it's kind of like something that we should all pay for. Maybe farms should have a slightly extra cost, or have it factored into their production costs. But
Do you think it should be bared on just the farm itself, or do you think it should be part of the transaction when you buy fertilizer for your farm or fertilizer for your ag department? Or
that's a good question. Should it be put on the farm itself, or on the actual the inputs that you're buying? You're saying
should be part of it, like when you purchase fertilizer, should
when
there
you
be
go
a
to purchase
surcharge?
that, there'd be a surcharge on it. Okay. Which I mean, where's most of the nitrate? Where's it coming from?
It's coming from all over.
From all over.
From fertilizers, from septic tanks, from
So
dairy
so
farms
if you're
with a lot of,
so if you're charging the people doing the soil, you're kind of it's like you're more centralizing onto one person, I feel. Whereas if you charged it was a overall tax to everyone, I feel like there's more of a fair disbursement of the cost.